imagine they are excited and ready for SEC play.
I think we are. You know, everybody always gets excited for the start of SEC, and the key is just to not make it any bigger than it is. You know, just be yourself and continue to play the way you've been playing.
What have you seen from this edition of the Georgia team?
You know, it's a very different Georgia team. They had a lot of seniors last year and seniors who had started all 4 years. So they've got some returners at the top of the lineup, but a pretty new team all the way around. One pitcher returns and then a couple transfers that they brought in that, you know, we're still trying to learn more about.
How important is carrying over offensive momentum from last weekend into this SEC series?
You know, I think the thing that was good about last weekend was our ability to stay focused on our process, regardless of the score in the game, what was happening, the opponent across the field. And that's just as important this weekend. And that's the key, is not getting attached to the results, whether they're good or whether you're struggling. Continue to trust your plan and your process.
What's it like having 3 pitchers that you can just throw out there whenever you want, starting-wise? You did it 2 years ago, and you have it again this year.
Yeah, well, this past weekend we played 5 games and we started a different pitcher every game. So that was pretty cool. And then to end up with 5 shutouts. That just shows, again, how focused they were on their process, and they didn't get complacent at any point in time. But I think we have a very deep pitching staff, you know, arguably one of the deepest, and I think by the end of the season it'll be one of the best in the country. And it's a good thing, because I feel like you know you can be in any game. And it takes the pressure off of your offense. Sure, we want to score runs, but we don't feel like we have to score 10, 11, 12 runs to win a ball game.
Why do you think this freshman class especially won't get caught up in the moment that is conference play?
They're really coachable because they don't have an ego. And I mean that in a really good way. Most athletes, they come in and they're here because they were really, really good wherever they came from. And then they're hesitant to make changes or accept coaching, because why are you asking me to do something different when I've been really good at doing it the way I've done it? And this group is different. They are really willing to try new things, to engage in that feedback with the coaches, let them know what feels good, what doesn't, what works, what doesn't. And there's just no ego attached to their previous results.
You've got a group of a lot of young pitchers in this pitching group, and by far Pickens has the most experience. How is she mentoring this group, Coach?
You know, it's interesting because I wish they could have seen Carla when she was a freshman. And I've told them some stories, and I still don't know if they believe it. But just when you watch how Carlin has grown, and that's the way she's mentoring them. She's talking them through, hey, I struggled. You know, I got caught up in expectations. I had to take a step back. This is how I worked through it. And, you know, Carlin's one of the most honest and self-aware people I've ever coached. So they couldn't have a better mentor.